sick.
You can't treat it.
You think maybe the kid is just sneezing.
Yeah. So
knowing that they are sick, knowing their plant is sick is one step of seeking further help.
yeah. So how do we get to know what is the process of, because if I go to the hospital and say, let me say in my mind, I think I have malaria, okay? But the doctor basically has to go through a diagnosis. They'll take some blood here, they'll take a urine test there, and at the end of the day, they will verify whether I actually have malaria or not, okay? So what is that process in coffee where you get to know which kind of disease is affecting a certain kind of coffee?
Okay, first is understanding them, is having regular talks with the extension workers, the researchers, and people who understand the diseases. A disease like coffee wilt disease, the most common, obvious symptom is dieback. Dieback is when your coffee dies from the head, that tip, it dies going down. Because coffee wilt disease is caused by fungi. Now the fungi will block nutrients and water from going up the tree.
Yeah.
That means the farthest is the one that is going to die.
Yeah.
The farthest will die and dies like that.
All the way down.
Dieback. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the commonest disease. But coffee wilt disease that does not have obvious symptoms on the cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other diseases like red blister and then berry disease, they have obvious symptoms because they are specific to cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a few symptoms on the leaves. Coffee leaf rust, your coffee will rust, and this is important for Arabica farmers. The coffee will have some rust under the leaf. When you turn your leaf like this, you'll see a rust.
Yeah.
Just like rust. Yeah.
Okay, so imagine I'm a farmer. Okay, I have my farm. I believe in my mind that everything is going well. Okay, then you, as Naro, come and tell me, you know what, your plants have such and such a disease. These are the symptoms. Okay, so what is the process that we would go through, okay, to help me in such a case? Because I know that there are very many farmers who actually have no idea. Okay, sometimes they say, oh, I'm cursed.
Yeah, that's another myth.
That's another myth. Okay, so sometimes I think it's a curse. So a neighbor of theirs was jealous, went to the witch doctor, and cursed their plants. But in the event that my plants, let's say, are sick, okay, what is the next step in treatment? Okay,
first, now you've seen unusual, mishap in your field.
Yeah.
Narrow does not do extension.
Okay.
But it usually reaches out to the farmers because Narrow's, I'm not speaking for Narrow, but the Narrow mandate stops at dissemination. Tech development and dissemination.
Yeah.
The NADS and OWC pick it up from there because their mandate is to do extension.
Yeah.
Now, but doesn't stop me from telling you that your coffee is sick or another expert, we have NGOs that also do extension to tell you that, yeah, your coffee is sick. So after that, but you've also seen the symptom. Then you seek expert help.
Yeah.
The expert will tell you whether you need to spray, or you need to cut, or you need to use culture methods, or inorganic sprays or organic sprays.
Yeah.
If you know it, you can take it upon yourself. If, let's say, you've had an experience with the disease and it has resurfaced, you can use the previous, treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the most important thing I'll emphasize on is seek expert help. Before you buy a chemical, you need to know, is this the right one? Am I going to use it right? So that you don't waste your money or you don't pre-expose yourself to, something that could be dangerous to you. Or you're trying to spray coffee wilt disease with a fungicide, and yet this disease is inside.
Yeah.
The fungi is inside. We call it the xylem and phloem. That is where the fungi is. But you're spraying the leaves and all that. It may not help. You're wasting money. You're also exposing yourself to these chemicals.
True.
So it's best to seek expert knowledge. If you don't understand, if you know a farmer who has had an experience with the same disease, ask them. Consult widely.
Yeah.
Have second and third opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm to seek expert help, okay, I believe that there are certain avenues that I have to follow. There are certain organizations where I can seek this help. So what are some of those organizations that as a farmer I can go to?
First is narrow.
Yeah.
I'm not being biased because I've been working with narrow, but first is narrow because it's narrow that generates the technologies, generates the control measures, the varieties, and disseminates them.
Yeah.
Then there's NADS. NADS has a league of extension workers. There's UCDA now. UCDA controls the coffee industry, regulates the coffee industry, and they are the best people to reach out to. UCDA has extension workers actually in almost every coffee growing region.
Yeah.
Then there are other NGOs that are specific to coffee or specific to agriculture extension. Other NGOs like TechnoServe. Then there are private companies that are into coffee but also do extension because you know it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You don't want farmers to lose. You are cutting off your supply. So some private companies have taken it upon themselves to offer extension services.
Yeah.
So ask widely, but don't rely so much on Twitter or Google because you may end up getting a recommendation for Vietnam thinking it will work in Uganda. So Google, but also ask, reach out to the experts.
Yeah. Okay, you talked about UCD, the UCDA there, and I've heard from a couple of people that every time they have tried to approach UCDA, they did not get help, okay? And they're of the view that, you know what, since UCDA can't help us, we're going to do this by ourselves. How true is that? Does UCDA actually, in their mandate to regulate coffee in Uganda, actually help these people, or there's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape that goes into this, that by the time you actually get the help, maybe you've lost the morale? So does UCD actually help?
UCD is supposed to help, and I know some farmers that have been helped.
Yeah.
First, they are the first years in case there is an outbreak of a strain disease. You have to reach out to UCD or to NADS. They help, but usually they help organized farmers. And it's like, I'm a UCD extension worker. I'm not speaking for them. I'm a UCD extension worker. You found me in Kampala. You're telling me about a disease that is in Masaka. I cannot understand it, and I don't have even means of facilitation to go there.
Yeah.
So I'll direct you to the nearest extension workers.
Yeah.
So when farmers don't understand, don't get to access, help within their location, they'll say, I wasn't helped. I'm just trying to imagine. And also sometimes it's easier to work with organized farmers. Let's say you're an association, then you invite UCD extension worker. You can come. You're 20 farmers, 100 farmers.
Yeah.
That's a bigger platform.
Yeah.
Because they're also underfunded.
Yeah. I like the way you say that UCDA is supposed to help.
Yeah, they are supposed to help. Yeah, because they regulate the industry.
Yeah.
And now with the Coffee Act, they have more powers.
Yeah, I think that brings me.
That's what they have always wanted, and they have it.
Okay, we're going to get into a break right now, but viewers will come back with more, about coffee. I believe that this is a very good discussion, especially for the farmers who are out there and may not have an idea about the various things that go into, farming of coffee. For example, the diseases, then what happens after you've grown the coffee. And we're going to have more of this discussion with Owen in the studio. Stay right there. This is the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television with me, Ateng Emmanuel.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. Baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Pro Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
I think most female feel like being a barista is more of a male job, or being a farmer is a male thing, or being a quality controller. Yet they don't know that there are other perfect people that we are looking at. So we want to bring this gender equality into the coffee business. I would thank this the International Women Coffee Alliance. It has really done a very good job to encourage women into the coffee business.
The brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio,
then being eager to learn, for everyone who is out there, with the young men, every young man out there, you need to be eager to learn, because there are many opportunities there. I don't know, I've met Emma today, I don't know where we shall meet any other time. I will meet this person, so always be humble and be eager to learn. And then about coffee, I've learned, like I think I've learned that always take everything in the steps. Because if I had started with the basics, I wouldn't be back here now.
Because I knew probably big hotels serve coffee. So to my dismay is that I introduced myself as a barista, and everybody was like, "What's a barista?" So I said, a barista is a specialist that makes coffee, a person who makes coffee for people to, coffee like, cappuccino, different kinds of, coffees, and people were like very green. I said, this is a big hotel. I expected to find here a coffee machine, and nobody knows about it. So it's, I think, incumbent of us to really transform this entire community, the entire country, to coffee, to learn about coffee, and also to give them the advantages of coffee, teach them about coffee, and then later on they maybe consume it, rather than just selling it.
Welcome back to the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng, and before we went for the break, we're talking to Owen Singura, about the different coffee diseases that face coffee. We're talking about what happens during the coffee growing process. And coming back to the show right now, Owen, welcome back to the show. I know we started the show on a coffee myth that, coffee apparently was used to make bullets.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And I think now, as a farmer or as someone who's out there, it is a myth. We have debunked that one for now, yeah. And we're talking about basically the different kind of diseases that affect, coffee, and also how to diagnose them, and also what to do, for the farmers who are out there when your crop gets diseases, what you can do. And one of the things you said is that we should seek professional help. And, after getting that professional help, that opens up, other avenues to what you can do for your crop. Coming back to the show, I remember you can catch us on our social media pages, HTV1 on our Twitter, on our YouTube, House of Talent Uganda live stream, and also on Facebook at House of Talent Uganda. Make sure to watch the show, spread it far and wide to the farmers out there, to the baristas, to the roasters, whoever is involved in the coffee chain and the coffee process, because we need this knowledge if we are to make Ugandan coffee be at par with Ethiopian coffee. As I read in the Coffee Act, we are trying to get to where Ethiopia is, and I believe that it's a very good thing. We're talking earlier, and you told me that you went to Israel, to do your masters. Okay. First question is, do they have a coffee culture in Israel like we do in Uganda?
Yeah, they do. They are big time coffee drinkers, and different ways. There's the Turkish coffee. There's Arab coffee, that in the pot, and then you swirl it in the sun. It gets ready. You pour, and they have actually better taste of coffee than us. Yet they don't grow. I've met 50-year-olds who have never seen a coffee tree. But they take a lot of coffee. They take coffee in the morning, coffee in the afternoon. I know a guy who takes coffee and cigarette as breakfast. But the irony is, we who grow don't take.
Yeah, I think that's a big irony. So what are some of those differences you saw between the coffee culture in Israel and that in Uganda? I know you've already talked about one. We grow it, we don't take it. They don't grow it, yet they take it more than us. Okay, so what are some more of those differences that you experienced when it comes to that coffee culture in these two places? Different areas of the world, actually.
Their taste is growing towards specialty. There are specialty cafes coming up. Then the people, when they go to buy, they want coffee. And for us, when we go in the supermarket, even the richer ones, we buy instant coffee. But actually, just let me take you a little off. Instant coffee is like a sausage. The best meat is not used in making sausage. The best meat is reserved for steak. The mediocre meat and of the red meat is what they use in rolling for sausage, because you'll not see the quality unless you've made custom made sausage. The same thing with instant coffee. The good thing with coffee, they don't throw anything apart from the extraneous matter, stones and plastics, if they are there. The undergrades, the broken beans, the rotten beans are the ones they reserve for instant coffee, because when you get a tin of the instant coffee, you will not know that this was from screen 18. So the screen 18 and 15 reserve it for cafes and specialty coffee and fine coffee, because someone is seeing what they are buying. The aroma is there. The rest, the irony is, when it comes here, instant coffee is more expensive than specialty and fine coffee. Even the educated people, the exposed ones, they don't. It's the reverse. In Israel, people are aiming for, top quality. And they actually imported some coffee from Africa and South America. They repackage it, create private labels, and they earn a lot of money from it. Why not us do it?
It's interesting that there's this westernization effect. Okay, the way they have marketed instant coffee, it feels like when it comes down to Africa, me, the person who's taking instant coffee, is perceived as the one who has money or class for that matter. Yet, if you went into a deeper understanding, you know, the person who's actually taking the real coffee could be considered as the person with more class in this matter. But
I won't say that people are not exposed, guys have traveled, but it's still gross ignorance.
yeah,
But still, we can do the instant coffee from our good coffee. I remember it's Kausheng, I would say, why not use good coffee to make instant coffee, because it will be cheaper here. We can still explore that avenue as we are graduating people from instant to brewed coffee.
yeah,
Back in the day when I was volunteering with UCDA in, you know, increasing local coffee consumption campaign, we used to hit the market and brew the coffee, but someone will tell you, why is this coffee rough? Why is this coarse? We want the smooth one.
yeah,
I can tell you, no, the smooth one is not good. This coffee is rough for a reason. Otherwise, we could have made it finer.
yeah,
But the reason is, the rougher the coffee, the better the brew. Not very rough, but of course you have to, you know, hit the standard.
yeah,
Again, this is scientific that rough coffee has a lower surface area to volume ratio.
yeah,
That means it will retain the aroma very fast. I want people to do an experiment. You know, open a tin of instant coffee. I don't want to mention the major brand. Open it and also open the tin of your brewing grade coffee, the rough one, what Ugandans call the rough one. Leave it open for 1 week. After 1 week, the best thing the instant coffee will be able to do is turn water to brown. But with this brewing grade coffee, there will still be the aroma. Because the surface area is low, that means it still keeps the, you know, the fineness in it.
yeah.
The instant coffee, everything will go.
Yes,
They
go.
knock a whoa. So that's something we want to, you know, our Ugandans learn. But we understand. There are another challenge is people don't know how to brew coffee.
Yeah.
If they knew, maybe they would have tried it. So I genuinely don't blame them.
Yeah.
Brewing coffee, Ugandans, they want to brew coffee like tea. But actually, we also don't know how to brew good tea.
Tea, true.
Get coffee, get water, boiled water, add coffee, then stir immediately. Then the coffee will float. Then we'll say, ha, oh, Malaba, Ugandan products. Tivalina class, see, all the coffee is floating.
Yeah.
That's not, it's not how it should be. The rule of brewing, if you're brewing from a cup, it's coffee first, water.
Yeah.
Back in the day, in high school, when you used to do chemistry, they will tell you, do not add water to acid because it's going to burst and kill you.
Yeah.
So it has to be the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, add acid to water, especially if it's concentrated.
Yeah.
It's the standard rule in the lab and in my profession.
Yeah.
So the same thing, if you want to brew home brewing of our Ugandan coffee, the rough one as you call it, boil water, make sure it boils, put coffee first in the cup, then add the water. Then wait for at least 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The coffee itself will go down. You won't need to, you know, do this drinking when you're spitting sweet.
Yeah. I think the first experience people have with coffee, like we're talking earlier, there is this, I also don't want to mention the brand, but we have coffee for 100 shillings. You know? So it's the same process. Get the coffee for 100 shillings, like you get tea leaves, pour it in a cup, and you know, we have a show on our TV station called the Creative Industry Talk. Basically talks about creativity in Uganda, and one of the shows will talk about Bubu, you know, by Uganda. Okay, and Ugandan products are seen, however good a Ugandan product is, in the eyes of the people, it's always going to be mediocre. Okay, we always say, man, these things are made in Uganda. Okay, so I think the same could be applied to the coffee in Uganda. How can we change people's perspective? Because I believe that if I say put a coffee from Uganda, very good coffee, and I brought another, let's say from the States, someone will obviously run towards the one of the States without even analyzing which one could be better. Just that the fact that this is made in Uganda. How can we change the perspective, okay, of Ugandans to actually start supporting Ugandan products, you know, in reference to the coffee industry?
So that's a good one. Actually, it's not only Ugandans struggling with that. Many countries also the Israelis think foreign is best. Yet for us, we look up to Israelis. So it's a common thing amongst citizens of different countries. You think foreign is good because it has come all the way to here, you know, champagne and all that stuff. Yeah. So, so one thing is the Ugandan people also have to imitate the standards of the competitors.
Yeah.
I look at coffee brands. You reach the supermarket, you look at how we are branding Ugandan coffee, and I will assure you that 90% of them are not going to cross the border to even Kenya. We have that cliche packaging of valve packs. It's standard, yes, we understand. It's standard for coffee, but you all having the same thing.
Yeah.
When I was at university, at the Chamber University Coffee Association, I and Meiko and Herman and the members, we created a brand, but we also used the same valve packaging. It's something we did at undergraduate, but you find someone has invested 1 billion, but still packaging in 1 million, 1 million kind of packaging.
Yeah.
We need to imitate excellence if we can't make excellent products, if we can't make excellent packaging. Get our coffee, package it like they do. I usually give an example of you've seen how the Vietnamese pack their coffee, or the Thailand pack black ivory coffee. This is not expensive packaging, but you just have to have the patience of understanding packaging and branding. Let me give you an example. We used to do the packaging, valve packs, put a sticker. Take it to the supermarket. The supermarket will tell you, we are not paying you until we sell. I used to be mad. You know, Herman was our marketing manager. We used to be mad that they are not paying us. They're actually surviving on us. But in actual sense, they were taking our coffees, adding it down the shelf, you know, with other many brands of the same packaging. Then they put the foreign brands at the corner where there's maximum attention. And the foreign brands, of course, they are paying cash upfront. For us, first sell and then pay you. In the end, the coffee gets stale. Now, when a consumer comes to the supermarket, and I know many guys who don't take supermarket coffee, is that you go to the supermarket, you're buying coffee that has spent 3 months, 6 months. It is stale. Because of the packaging, and also the grocery managers have put them down in the Kayola. So if you have to attain the boo-boo, if you have to boost coffee consumption and people support our brands, we need to do top-notch packaging, world-class packaging. I don't want to talk about what we presented at the World Coffee Expo, but to be sure no one is going to buy it, or no one will even take it for free. Because it is so cliche. This is packaging of 30 years ago. But the good news is that there are few Ugandans who are aiming for excellence, looking for that, you know, niche packaging, and they are getting markets in Europe and North America. We can do the same. That's how we're going to compete with, you know, Brazil and Vietnam.
Well, that's an interesting thing, because I've actually been to the supermarket, and exactly what you say, the Ugandan coffees are thrown somewhere down there. You know, I have a friend who does her own coffee, and she complains about the same thing. By the time you get paid for your coffee, it's stale, and you know, if I buy a stale coffee, I'm not going back to buy the same brand again. So basically, I'm on the losing side. Okay, and the foreigners are getting more and more out of us, and even that money that they're getting is not really repatriated back into the country.
It's not your money.
It's not our money. So all of us are losing at the end of the day, and it's something that we need to really, you know, do to improve the coffee industry. I know one of your backgrounds is research in coffee, and we're talking earlier, and you said, you know, in coffee research, to come up with, you know, a type of coffee takes you 10 to 15 years. Okay. And to the normal person, they think, now how are we going to wait 10 to 15 years, you know, for you to come up with a different kind of coffee? Is there one that you have come up with? Is there one that you are currently working on? And if so, could you give us some more, you know, information about it?
Oh, that's a nice one. To an ordinary person, they cannot imagine that the coffee they are growing, someone sat a decade and more to work on it. towards the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was coffee wilt disease. It's really ravaged and destroyed almost like over 50%
Yeah.
of the Robusta coffee.
Yeah.
Now, Narrow had to sit because, you know, every problem in agriculture, the eyes are on Narrow. They had to sit and try to create solutions. And one of the solutions, coffee wilt disease is a very tricky one. I told you, you will spray and you won't control it.
Yeah.
So they had to come up with varieties that are resistant to the disease. And from that time, during the early 2000s and up to now, they have released 10 varieties. 10 coffee varieties that are resistant to wilt disease. That is KR1 to KR10.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you know, KR10. But it's not that you sit and work on one. I'm not a coffee breeder, but I've worked with coffee breeders. It's not that they sit and work on one, release it. They, you know, work in tandem.
Yeah.
Because these varieties, how much they are all coffee wilt resistant. They have different attributes.
Yeah.
And then they perform well, you know, in different regions, different agronomic conditions, different
climates.
flavors.
Yeah.
Another thing is that after researchers have developed the variety, they have to take it to UCDA for scoring. Like,
Yeah.
because it doesn't help when you make a good coffee variety, high yielding, big, and it doesn't taste well.
Yeah.
So now that's how UCDA comes in. They have to assess the cup quality.
Yeah.
And it's a back and forth, you know, years and years and years and years, and they say now this is good.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend 10 years on a loser product.
True.
You're wasting taxpayers' money, you're wasting your time. So the 10 varieties, in actual sense, it should be that KR7 is better than, KR10 is better than KR7. You know, theoretically, that's how it should be. But sometimes you find that KR10 has, KR7 has better attributes than KR10.
10.
The whole point is give farmers a wide range of choices to work with.
Yeah.
You know, always assess. And I actually recommend farmers, every farmer should be a researcher on their field. Use your own understanding, do your own assessment. Narrow may not reach anywhere, nuts may not reach everywhere, UCDA may not reach everywhere, like you said.
Yeah.
But farmers have to be their own researchers. Like, compare, see, this one does well, this one doesn't do well, or this one is heavier, this one is lighter, this one matures faster.
Yeah.
But why did we go the cloning way? Now, the breeders realized, okay, let me go back to the biology of coffee.
Okay.
Two coffee species, Robusta and Arabica. The difference, one of the differences that Arabica is self-pollinating. By the time an Arabica flower opens, it has, you know, pollinated itself, or to pollinate itself shortly. Robusta is cross-pollinating. Now, you remember in our basic biology and science, cross-pollination is moving anthers from here and pollen from here
to
the stigma of the other. So you are creating variability.
Yeah.
Like man and woman who create a child who has characteristics from both. Now, Robusta being cross-pollinating, the fruits are going to be different from either of the parents.
Yeah.
But now you want to keep the disease-resistant top-notch. So you have to clone. So the nursery operators, the Narrow and UCD have mother gardens where they pick clones so that you have the same. If it is KR7, you're going to produce seedlings that are strictly KR7. Because even if, you know, KR7 is pollinated by another variety, you're going to create L8 seeds.
Yeah.
L8 seeds also work, but the resistance of L8 seeds to coffee wilt disease is not as high as a clone, because with clones you have true to type. Yeah. Imagine they cloned you, Emma. You're going to have a kid who is going to be like you 100%.
True.
Maybe you're resistant to COVID. Just think. So we shall clone you and make many Emmas. Yeah. That's by the way. But if you married someone, you're going to have a kid who is looking like mom or like you, or having, you know, combined traits. Yeah. So the L8 seeds work but their resistance is not as strong as if they were clones. Now, most farmers go for elites.
Yeah.
Because elites are cheaper. Just get this seeds, coffee seeds, plant them, they germinate, you sell. Clones, you have to have a mother garden, you have to be certified by ECD to operate a commercial nursery, you have to clone.
Yeah.
But the upside of it is that the cloned varieties are going to mature faster, and they have the resistance to the wilt disease, and they are true to type.
Yeah.
If you like KR7, you're going to have KR7. If it's 10, you're going to have KR10. Maybe you've gotten an importer or a client who likes KR7 or likes KR8.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to give them, you're controlling your quality. That's quality assurance. Done. That your coffee is going to taste the same today, next year, and the other year for 10 years.
Yeah. Interesting. I like how you say that, most farmers actually go and buy the elite because they are cheap.
Yeah,
which is a Ugandan problem.
So Uganda, we want to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
But in farming, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work in farming. We're coming towards the end of the show, and we have discussed a lot of things. But as we draw towards the end, okay, we're discussing earlier about how we have different players in this coffee chain, okay? And right now the focus is mainly on the baristas, okay? And on this show we have had a lot of baristas, and I believe that most of them actually, because a barista course is 1 month, 2 months, if you want to 3 months at the most, and most of them don't have the kind of knowledge like you are talking about right now. Most of them don't know what happens in the farm apart from the theory they're given in class. Okay, so as we come to the end of the show, what do you have for baristas out there? Because like we said earlier, you won't be a barista at 70. Okay, what can these baristas do to make themselves more relevant in the coffee chain and the coffee process, and also more relevant for their lives going ahead?
Okay. I usually meet baristas and I'll tell them you're going to be active for 10 years maximum. If you stretch it, 20 years. But you can, graduate yourself first. You've learned barista, basic barista, add more skills, but also advance to maybe quality control. Because if you do R or Q grading, then you can get a job in a private farm or a coffee exporting or a coffee processing farm. That's 1+. Another thing, if you're a barista who has a background in agriculture, you can work backwards, switching back to your profession.
Yeah.
It's going to be good if you applied for a job, let's say quality control, and you're a barista, you have studied R or Q, and you also know some coffee agronomy. Definitely they will take you.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to be better than someone who has studied quality control but is not a barista, because every employee wants a bigger package of you at the same price. So the thing is, if you're a barista, you're 40 years, you've overstretched maybe 40, 45, at least learn Q or R. UCD has free, these are free courses. I'm not speaking for UCD, but they are free. R and Q grading, they are free. You stand a chance to get a job in the coffee industry, in growing or processing farm. But another thing, we have some people we are with who have a background in agriculture or biotechnology. I know some who have switched back to research, and they stand a higher chance, because if I applied for a job with the counterpart who is just an agriculture expert, but I'm also a barista expert, I know some basic of quality control, then I stand higher chances.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a job. I know guys who have done that. Done barista, then switched back to research.
Yeah.
And they're doing amazing things.
Yeah.
Because also the researchers don't know how good coffee is.
Yeah.
They are preparing it, but then they don't know that you can make a mocha, latte, and you can make all these variations.
Yeah.
It's also helping the research industry. When I was still in coffee research, as an intern, our director by then banished instant coffee. And he was a new director. He was like,
Yeah.
guys, we are a coffee research institute. Why are we taking instant coffee? Like, come on, guys. And not just instant coffee, imported instant coffee.
Yeah.
Dude, you people should be taking the best coffee because you make it.
Yeah.
You've earned it. Now they have an espresso machine, they brew, they're enjoying.
Yeah.
You see? But to bring that vibe, it takes someone who understands coffee beyond the bean
Yeah.
to, bring that vibe. Now they're happy people. They were like, man, I didn't know that my variety tastes this good.
Yeah.
Because most probably the guy has made the variety and has not been drinking it.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe. And I know guys who are changing, the research world also.
Yeah.
They are baristas.
Yeah.
They have gone back to research.
Yeah.
The baristas, but they have gone into, because even private companies want researchers. They want agronomists.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, if you have gone into the coffee industry, you may not understand everything, but try to understand the basics of coffee from the seedling beyond the bean.
Yeah.
Even the market metrics,
Yeah.
especially the market metrics.
Yeah.
It's important to understand
Yeah.
the market dynamics. The biggest thing in the market dynamics right now, Brazil was hit bad by hailstorms and frost. It's a plus to us.
It
but
gives us an opportunity
yeah, it's
to
an opportunity for us.
slide
but for
in
them.
there somewhere.
The smart guy, when Brazil was hit by frost, should have bought more coffee.
Yeah.
Because actually there's a coffee crisis.
Yeah.
So projected that 3 years from now, there's going to be a coffee crisis.
Yeah.
If you can buy coffee, buy it as much as you can because it's going to be high.
Yeah.
Sorry for the Brazilians.
But kind of good for us.
Yeah.
Well, Owen, we've come to the end of the show, but I believe that all the knowledge that you have shared in just this little span of time has really helped someone out there. Someone, the barista, the farmer, whoever is involved, and a lot of people actually ignore. Okay, and I believe that this show should actually have a part 2 because
we can take it to the farm. Actually, I like it more in the farm.
Yeah, we can actually take it to the farm, which would be better. But thank you for giving us your time. I hope that next time we'll be at the farm and we'll get to know more about coffee, get to understand the different things that actually go into, getting coffee from the tree all the way to the cup. For our viewers out there, if you're a barista, if you're a farmer, if you're a CEO and you own your own coffee shop, there's a lot of information about coffee that you need to know. And this show basically gives you all that information. We want to thank you for staying with us this whole time, and we'll have another guest next weekend, or Owen will be back, or we'll be at the farm. You never know. Yeah, but thank you for being with us. This has been the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. Till next time, get a good cup of coffee, and remember, Ugandan coffee is actually the best coffee out there. Have a blessed day.
My name is Amon Mukisa, sitting in for Eddie Okila on the Coffee Break Show. So today we're going to talk about quite a different thing always on a coffee show. Always we have very many beverages here brewing. Well, I can have my coffee right here, brewing and showing you how different methods work. But today we're going to talk about your first experience in ordering coffee in a coffee shop. How was it like? I mean, did you get ashamed of ordering for a certain coffee, or did barista laugh at you as you're ordering a coffee? Today on the show, on the Coffee Break, we are going to be showing you how different drinks or beverages appear or look like, and how you're supposed to order for them in their sequence. Like, if, for example, how are you supposed to order for an espresso? Today on the Coffee Break. My name is Amon Mukisa once again, and welcome to the show. So, usually when you get to a coffee shop, you're supposed to use a very simple language. For example, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, so that you get to cinch or to attract the barista's attention or the server who's going to work on you. So if you greet them very well, of course they will react to your greetings, and the way you greet them is how they will respond. So for example, if you came so rude and you're like, hello, let me get this, they'll be like, what's this person talking about? They also respond in a very, yes, they are told to be calm, disciplined, but then the way you come is the way they respond. So for example, if you came and you're like, hello, good morning, would I get a cappuccino, a double shot to go or to dine in? The boss will be like, okay, it's coming right up. But if you come and you're like, hello, please, can I get a double cappuccino to go? The guy will be like, what's this person talking about? So today on the show, on Hot or House of Talent TV, we're going to be talking about different beverages. My producer Edgar was like, I like an affogato. He fell in love with an affogato. I don't know if you know how an affogato looks like, but today on the show we're going to be showing you how an affogato looks like. Before we go far, we're going to be starting with an espresso, which Eddie Okila, the host of the show, likes to talk about as the best espresso beverage. It's brewed from, actually it's not brewed, it's extracted using an espresso machine, and then that's how you get an espresso. But do you know how it looks like? Do you know when it was discovered that this is an espresso? I guess as we're talking about these drinks today on the show, we shall be showing you these pictures. So let's start with an espresso first. This espresso, actually the name comes from the word espremer, which comes from the word express. So that's why it's called espresso. However, since it's Italian, it was discovered in the 1900s. So you get to see how long that beverage has been in existence. When 2020, or others call it 2020, whatever you call it. The espresso was discovered in 1900s in Italy, and it was discovered as an express coffee because it's as quickest coffee you can make from the espresso machine. And what you need to know is that an espresso is the mother of all beverages made from the espresso machine. So an espresso, how does it look like? I request my producer to show you how an espresso looks like. First of all, it's made in a 60 mils or 30. Actually, it's a standard cup. It's a 60 mils. So a double shot makes 60 mils coffee. Then a single shot makes a 30 mils coffee. So if you're a person who likes to take a little bit mild coffee, but you need it strong, you go in a coffee shop and order for an espresso single. So if you go to a coffee shop, for example, you've come to me, I'm a barista, you'll be like, hello, good morning, please, can I have an espresso single to dine in or to go? The barista on shift or on the station will be able to make you that cup of coffee right away. So if you need a single, then they will be giving you a 60 ml. So a single, of course, is less acidic and less like mild coffee for you to take. If you need a double, that's a strong coffee for you to take because it's a double. So which means you're going to have 230s, which makes it 60 mils. It's a standard coffee. You can never have an espresso coffee served in this mug right here. No. That's not a standard. of a coffee shop. And if you go to a coffee shop, you're ordering for an espresso, my dear, make sure they're serving you in a small mug or a small cup of coffee. It's like a shot of tequila if you've taken, if you booze. If you booze, my dear, you go to a bar and ask for a shot of tequila or a shot of any whiskey, they'll give you a small quantity in a glass. That was a shot. So same thing applies to the coffee. They give you a shot and small cup of coffee, which is an espresso. So never be allowed to be served in a big mug that they're serving you an espresso. No. Always tell that barista that, whoever is serving you, that I've watched the coffee break and they told me that an espresso is supposed to be served in a smaller mug, which is around 60 mils. So that's an espresso for you, which comes from the word express, or I'm not Italian, but the word is exprime, which is a past participle of the word express. That's how the name espresso coffee came into existence. So that's the mother of all coffees. So today on the show we're going to be talking about all 15 coffee beverages. So let us know, if you're watching, what was your first experience of ordering these coffees in a coffee shop. So if you get to a coffee shop and you go to a barista or go to the barista section, from an espresso you can make different beverages. Okay, so you can have a cappuccino, you can have a latte, you can have an americano, you can have a regular coffee or a house coffee, you can have different milk beverages. You know, these are coffees that are made from an espresso. Since I told you it's the mother of all coffees. From an espresso we can make the beverage known as an espresso macchiato. You know, I was having a conversation earlier on with my producer and he was like, why was it even called a macchiato? I told him, you know, a macchiato comes from the word mac. So since it's Italian, different English countries decided to just translate the pronunciation with different meanings, but meaning the same thing. So if you see that a macchiato has like a double C somewhere, but a mac has a K somewhere, so in a pronunciation it's like literally the same, macchiato or mac. So an espresso macchiato is a beverage in that same smaller cup, by the way, that smaller cup with a mac on top. So I don't know if the producer or if our producer is showing you all these beverages, should be able to see them on screen. So an espresso macchiato should be able to be right on your screen. You see it has a small mark on top, and then it could be a single, it could be a double, but it is made with less milk. But what differentiates it from other beverages is a mark on top. As long as you have a mark on top, that's an espresso macchiato. So actually, if you want your strongest coffee in a coffee shop and you want a little bit of cream in it, cream I mean milk, it could be whole milk, it could be dairy-free milk. Dairy-free milk, I'm talking about coconut, I'm talking about soy, I'm talking about oat. These milk packages can come into packages when they're either fat-free or they have some fats in them. But basically most coffee shops have coconut, oat as their dairy-free milk. Alright, that's an espresso macchiato if you need less milk in a coffee shop. So if you go to a certain coffee shop wherever you are watching us from, in Canada, you're in the US, you're down right here in Uganda. You know, even people go to coffee shops and they take juice. Okay, that's what you like, but man, you gotta ask for coffee. You're in a coffee shop, not a restaurant. So ask for an espresso macchiato and have that cup of coffee start your day. The next beverage that can be made in a coffee shop, or what you order for when you go to a coffee shop, is a cappuccino, which is a traditional beverage ordered by many people. A cappuccino can also come in two ways. It can be single or it can be double. So a cappuccino is what you see on your screen right there. It comes with good art, you know, it looks nice when it's on your table. These are skills achieved by baristas when they're in their coffee schools. So when you go to a coffee school, of course, it's an art. Coffee is an art. If you make it very, very bad, you're going to have a very bad cup of coffee. If you make it very, very nice, you're going to have a very, very nice sweet cup of coffee. So as you can see on your screens over there, that's a cappuccino which is served as single or double. So basically, since an espresso is served as single or double, these other beverages can be made the same way. As you just need to ask for a double cappuccino or a single cappuccino. I'm sure you've gone to bars or coffee shops. Coffee shops have coffee bars. You get? So when you go to a coffee bar or a coffee station, when you say, I need a double cappuccino, oh please, can I get a double cappuccino? A barista on station on that coffee bar will be able to ask you, do you need it single or double? So if you need like more milk in your coffee, of course you'll go for a single. If you need like a balanced and good tasting coffee, a cup of coffee and there's a cappuccino, of course you'll go for a double cappuccino, because man, double shot of espresso is taken as like the most epic cup of coffee, because it brings out all the flavors, the aromas, I know the gist in that coffee as it is being pulled out from the espresso machine. Actually, if you have been to a coffee shop, you'll see that while making an espresso, a barista makes a coffee using a grinder, and then he presses it somehow. As he's pressing it, he puts it into a machine, or he fixes the porta. It's called a portafilter. Now we're going into technicalities. So the thing that they use to make an espresso is like just like the way you have a French press. I'm sure we've talked about the French press, AeroPress here. So the other espresso machine also has an equipment called a portafilter. So that's where they put the coffee, and then they press, then they put into the espresso machine, and then they force it out, or they press it out. So that's why it's pressed and comes with all the coffee aromas and flavors. So if you take a double shot of espresso, my dear, you're having a good cup of coffee. So having a cappuccino having a double cappuccino can help you like have a proper balanced cup of coffee. However, if you don't want a double shot, you can go for a single. So same thing for a double cappuccino. We have a flat white. I'm sure baristas are not well versed with the word flat white, and I'm sure many of them, when a client asks for a flat white, they get confused, so they end up giving them a cappuccino. But some clients do understand, and they're like, maybe they don't know what I asked you for. They end up going with a flat white. I mean a cappuccino. So a flat white is this. A flat white is a kind of coffee which has less foam. You know, a cappuccino is made with more foam. You find like 3/3 of cup of cappuccino is made with foam. So basically, if this is your cup of coffee that you use to make a cappuccino, you'll find that this is level of your espresso coffee, and then this is milk, and then the rest is foam. So that's a cappuccino. And then a flat white, you find that this is coffee, and then this is milk. So it has like less foam. So if you see on your screen over there, that is a flat white. It has less foam. However, you can use some baristas actually don't draw art on a flat white because they want to balance the foam. Making an art comes along with having a thick foam to make that nice, beautiful art you see on your cup. But an art is not that considered to be so important in a cup of coffee. As long as my cup of coffee is tasting good and very nice, I'm good to go. I don't need to see your art. Art is just for presentation. If it has a very bad taste and you have a nice art, then it's not good. Since it's the coffee break, I have to keep on sipping my coffee, and you're still watching the coffee break right here on House of Talent television with me, Amon Mukisa. Today on the show, I remind you, we're talking about coffee beverages. What would you order for or how would you order for a beverage when you access or when you visit a coffee shop? I'm sure you've had very many experiences, especially on your first visit to a coffee shop. You don't know about coffee, you've been seeing very, very nice pictures of coffee, friends taking coffee, they're posting pictures on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, they're having coffee. You know, coffee is a classic beverage, and you're like, let me visit a shop for today. So this show is yours. You need to get to know how different beverages look like, so that you don't get ashamed or you don't get humiliated as you're asking for a cup of coffee, or if you're ordering for a coffee when you visit a coffee shop in Uganda or wherever you're watching us from. If you're outside Uganda, you could be in South Africa, you could be in Kenya, you could be in Dubai, you could be elsewhere in the world. As long as you're watching this show is for you. This show is also for barista for different customers. You need to know how to present these beverages. You need to know how to make these beverages so that they look nice for clients, and also you need to know how to handle a first-time client as they're visiting your coffee shop. You know, different coffee shops in Uganda are not specialty coffee shops. So that's why when I was talking to my producer, he was like, I like an affogato, but I was like, man, affogatos are no longer in specialty coffee shops. Later on in the show, I'll explain what a specialty coffee shop is, as we're looking through all these beverages right here on the show. Let's go to the next beverage. If you could go to a specialty coffee shop, this is what you'd ask for: a latte. A latte is the hottest milk beverage you could have. It's served in a latte glass, and if you could see on your screen over there, that's a latte glass. It's a long glass that's able to handle a hot beverage. It cannot be ice. You could serve it in a mug, but then to be standard or to be unique from other coffee shops, you serve your latte in a latte glass. That's why it's called a latte glass. However, you find more coffee shops using this latte glass to serve mocha, to serve milkshakes, to serve iced beverages. Man, from today, don't do that again. This is a standard latte glass for serving a latte. You can never have a latte when it's cold. Or, I mean, you can never have a latte when it's mild, like the temperatures, when they're a bit down, warm. No. A latte is supposed to be a hot beverage. So literally, you steam your milk to around 180 degrees Celsius of temperatures for you to have a good cup of latte coffee or a latte. So if it's a cold day like right here in Ibukoto street, please go to the nearest coffee shop and order for a latte, because you need to warm up. It's a very, very good coffee for you to have on a cold day like this. If it's cold, you could also have it iced, but later on we shall show you that picture of an iced latte. Let's go to a latte macchiato. A latte can be divided into two. It could be a latte macchiato, or it could be just a latte, the standard one. So a latte macchiato is this kind of beverage whereby you have a mark on top also, but a latte. You remember when I talked about the espresso macchiato? It had a mark on top, but in an espresso cup. So same thing applies to latte macchiato. It's a type of coffee that has a thicker form. Remember, a normal latte has less foam on top. So if it's a latte, let's assume this is my latte glass right here. This is coffee. If I mix it very well, I'll have like this much of foam, like 1 centimeter of foam, you know. So if it's a latte macchiato, you're going to have a thicker foam on your cup or in your glass. So a latte macchiato is also served in a latte glass. So if you have less, if you want to take more foam in your coffee, a hot beverage, and you need coffee to be smooth enough, you need to go for a latte macchiato. And also the way it's made. It's made in a way that espresso is poured on top of this foam, so it makes good layers of a coffee beverage that you're going to take. So that's a latte macchiato for you. You could differentiate, or you could differentiate it for your barista in case they don't know. That's one good thing if you're watching the coffee break on House of Talent. You get to know beverages that you even never knew that you're taking, so you get to educate them to those baristas who don't know. And especially these days, we are having a lot of baristas who don't know how to make beverages in the right way they're supposed to be made. So this show is for all of you, and thank you for watching once again. We're still on the coffee break on House of Talent TV. Let's go to a mocha. A mocha is basically a chocolate beverage. So most of you have taken chocolate beverages with coffee in your coffee shops that you visit. But do you know how they are supposed to be made, and do you know how they look like? This is a mocha right over there you see on your screen. A mocha is made with chocolate. It could be dark chocolate, it could be a white chocolate. So it depends, as long as it's chocolate. So chocolate is mixed with coffee, which is an espresso, not any other coffee. It couldn't be a drip coffee, it couldn't be a filtered coffee. No, it's supposed to be an espresso. So the mixture of an espresso with chocolate makes a good blend, which is very, very, very nice to taste. So when you add in milk, oh wow, this beverage is breathtaking. I'm sure it's mouth-watering if you have tasted it before, or in the coffee shop you've visited before. So that's mocha for you. Basically, all these beverages that I'm talking about can be made both hot or cold. So either way, you could enjoy them. But basically, one beverage that's not good to taste when it's cold is an espresso, because it's standard. It's standard. You could have an espresso on rocks, but then that's you if you decide to do that. But mocha can also be made cold, so it's just a matter of the barista on station or that coffee shop to come up with a menu that has different blends of coffees that are iced. So different choices, different options you could go with on the menu of a certain coffee shop if you visit, and you'll be able to have your mocha. It's a very nice sweet coffee because the chocolate is a bit sweet. You know, when you mix it with coffee, most of you who say it's sour, my friend, you're going to have a nice blend of coffee for you to take as a mocha. Wow, here we come with an affogato. Oh my god, my producer's favorite beverage. I don't know if you have had an affogato. When was the last time you had an affogato? When you visited a coffee shop, or when you visit a coffee shop? Get down in our comment section right here on Facebook. We're streaming, remember, we're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. Get down there and tell us, when was the last time you ordered for an affogato, and what was the experience? How did it taste? Did you expect a very, very, very big cup of coffee, or you expected a very unique cup of coffee as small as it looks like on your screen over there with ice cream? So basically, an affogato is a coffee beverage made with ice cream. So when you need like ice cream and you need your strong punch of coffee, please go for an affogato. However, an affogato is no longer much sold into specialty coffee shops. Now here's how I explain a specialty coffee shop. A specialty coffee shop is that kind of coffee shop that has transitioned or like moved away from making Asian beverages the way they were used to be made, like an affogato. Since someone needed to take an ice cream with coffee, they just had to get their scoop or get their get their ice cream. Let it be any flavor, vanilla, chocolate, whatever flavor you have, and then top it over with espresso. That's an affogato. So the mixture of an espresso with the vanilla ice cream, the chocolate ice cream, the strawberry ice cream makes a good blend of coffee. So specialty coffee shops were like, no, we don't need to go on with this ancient way of making coffees like an affogato. We need to find a better way of improving these coffees. So they decided to go for coffees that are well blended. They come up with different flavors, and then make them in huge amount. For example, you could take a cappuccino milkshake. A cappuccino milkshake is a kind of milkshake that is made with ice cream and coffee and then blended. So it's like huge. You know, when you're taking it, you're taking